When selling your home, it is natural to want to present the property in the most favorable light possible. However, don't let this zest for perfection lead to concealing potential problems with the home. Hiding any issues from potential buyers can have negative consequences, up to the potential buyer walking away from purchasing the home. While it is that buyer's responsibility to do the due diligence on the home, sellers are required to disclose any issues that they are aware of, any defects they're aware of in the house. And if you try to hide these issues, you could open yourself up to potential litigation down the road. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but even if it doesn't turn into a lawsuit, you will immediately lose all trust with the buyer if they find out that you concealed something and failed to be honest. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the types of issues sellers may try to hide, provide real-world examples, and then discuss possible ramifications of trying to conceal problems with a home that's on the market. And we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below and tap the notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott Durnley with Joyner Fine Properties. In my 20 plus years of real estate, I've helped countless families buy and sell homes throughout the greater RVA area, and I would love to help you as well. So my contact information is linked in the description below. Please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email if I can be of service in any way. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about 7 problems you do not want to try to conceal when you're selling your home. All right, so we're going to talk about 7 examples of issues that home sellers should not try to conceal. Number 1 are structural issues. Any significant problem with the foundation, walls, roof, or any other structural components should be disclosed. Not only could these problems be costly to repair, but they could affect the safety and integrity of your home. And trust me, the home inspector is going to catch these, so it's best to be upfront about them. If you've seen cracks in your foundation walls, we see that a lot. Some are just superficial. They call it stair stepping. It goes along sort of the mortar joint. The brick itself is not broken in half, but when you have the brick itself broken in half, that's an issue. Your inspector is going to find it better to just take care of it up front. Number 2, water damage or leaks. You should disclose any type of past water damage, leaks, or plumbing problems. Water damage can lead to mold growth, rot, and other issues that can affect the health and safety of the occupants. Number 3, pest infestations. Whether it's termites, rodents, or other pests, it's crucial to disclose any ongoing or previous pest infestations. Buyers will want to know if there's been any damage or if there's any risk of things that need to be addressed. I've got a perfect real-life example of this. I sold a home that had a snake infestation in the crawl space. These guys were actually getting up into the house. I had the house under contract, and when they went for the home inspection, a few of these guys had made their way into the house. One was wiggling across the floor, and then one was sort of coming out of the side of the window and creeping up into the house. Needless to say, that freaked the buyers out, and they were gone. Now, I did get a pest guy over there and we fixed it, but I don't know if the seller knew about this or not, but it's hard to imagine they didn't. But that was a deal killer that we could have nipped in the bud. And I don't do snakes. Good Lord, I don't do snakes. I hate those. Number 4 are electrical problems. I would disclose any problems that you know and provide previous information regarding repairs and maintenance. A faulty electrical system can be hazardous and inconvenient for homeowners. Number 5, environmental hazards. Buyers also have the right to know if there's any potential health issues associated with the home. If your property is located in an area known for environmental hazards, such as radon is our biggest one these days, or if you have asbestos, lead-based paint, underground storage tanks, it's essential to disclose this information. So let's say you purchased your home and you did get a radon test done. It showed at a level that you needed remediation, but you just chose not to do it. because, you just didn't feel like, it was information that you wanted, and it wasn't too high, but it was still in that range where you needed to do remediation and you didn't do it. You need to disclose that. You have that information. You need to disclose that to a potential buyer, or better yet, have it remediated prior to putting your home on the market. Number 6, previous insurance claims or damage. If you have made insurance claims on the house in the past, the buyer should be privy to this information as well. They may want to review a history of claims and repairs before making a decision. And number 7 are any legal or permit issues. So disclose any permit problems associated with the house. The biggest one here is unpermitted renovations, but we also have property line disputes or zoning violations. So I see this all the time where you look at the tax records, they have one square footage, and then the MLS listing has a square footage that's much higher. That is usually an indication that the seller did a addition, finished the 3rd floor, added something, but didn't get it permitted. So the county has never picked up that square footage in the tax records, yet the seller, when they're selling the house, is adding it to the MLS. So that is one we see all the time. Another one, such as you'll have your neighbor, you buy a house, you have a survey done, and your neighbor's fence is a foot on your side of the property. Now let's say you've never rectified that. You are passing that problem on to the next buyer. So if you know about that, you had that survey done and you never had anything done about it to get that fence removed, you really should disclose that and not try to make that problem the next person's. So those are the 7 examples of things you should not try to conceal. So I have created a very handy relocation guide that can save you hours of time and effort, and you can link to that right below. It's a must download, and I think you'll get some great information out of it. All right, so now let's talk about some consequences of trying to conceal these issues. Number 1 is a loss of trust. Transparency and honesty are crucial in any real estate transaction. Potential buyers rely on accurate information to make informed decisions about the property they're thinking about purchasing. So if you conceal problems, you're compromising that trust. On the flip side, you may have an upper hand by actually revealing problems. By disclosing issues up front, sellers can be in control of negotiations and will prevent buyers from backing out after an inspection uncovers these issues. This level of transparency allows both parties to factor in potential expenses in their decision-making process. So number 2 is disputes or termination. You only get one chance to make a good impression. That's the case with just about everything in life. If that first impression isn't good, you can be viewed unfavorably throughout the process. Concealing problems can lead to a higher probability of future conflicts. So potential buyers, if they find out you're hiding one thing, they're going to wonder, what else are you trying to hide? So if it's an issue that will be uncovered by a home inspection, buyers are much less likely to walk away if they know about that problem in advance of the home inspection before making an offer than if they get surprised about this as part of the home inspection. Here's a real world example for you. I advised the seller of a vacant home several years ago to invest in a home inspection prior to listing. It had been vacant for a while. Who knows what was going to be the matter with this house? This way, any problems could be addressed sooner than later. Well, of course, the seller didn't want to spend the money, and they decided against the inspection, and the buyer's inspection revealed a roof leak and a foundation crack, 2 of our biggies on that list. The repair costs were higher than anticipated for both buyer and seller. It made negotiations very difficult and ultimately caused the deal to fall apart. So not good. So number 3 are unexpected delays. Concealment can also stop you from closing on time. In another example, my clients purchased an older home that they wanted to renovate and occupy. The homeowner never disclosed that there were polybutylene pipes in the property, and sure enough, it was found during inspection. Trust me, inspectors zero in on polybutylene. Now, these pipes are found in homes that are about 30 years or older in Virginia, and they are no longer acceptable to U.S. building codes. As a matter of fact, years ago, there was a class action lawsuit against the manufacturer of polybutylene pipes. So replacing this type of pipe in general can be a very big, unexpected repair cost. So my client spent weeks negotiating, back and forth, on this, and they finally agreed to a credit at closing. Now, the credit was delayed. The credit made the deal go through, but closing was delayed by over a month, and ultimately the seller paid the cost of the repair. So had the seller addressed this issue earlier, they probably would have netted more money and they would have avoided paying more months of expenses because it would have closed on time. And now for the question of the day. For those of you who are thinking about moving to the greater Richmond area, where are you moving from? And what is the main reason you're leaving your current city or your current state? I'm truly curious, so let me know down below. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments below, or better yet, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My information should pop up on the screen. Now, number 4 is a lower selling price or damaged reputation could be a consequence of trying to conceal issues. Your market value of your property is based on a variety of factors. However, concealing problems could eventually lead to a lower sales price or deter potential buyers. Moreover, word of mouth can spread quickly. Agents do talk to each other, and if buyers feel misled, it can create a negative reputation for your property, making it a challenge to sell your home in the future. Number 5, violation of your legal obligations. So failing to disclose problems with the property could also violate your legal obligation. Laws and regulations vary by state, but in Virginia, sellers are legally obligated to disclose any known material defects in the property. Now, failure to comply with these requirements could lead to legal consequences or financial liabilities. For example, if a home was constructed using asbestos and a seller fails to disclose this, they could potentially face a lawsuit down the road. The same can be said for issues with the home's foundation or really any other part of the home. So if you know about it, again, honesty is your best policy. Very rarely do these things end up in lawsuits, so don't bank on that. You do not want to be one of the ones where it actually does and it costs you a ton of money. Well, that's it for today's videos on things you do not want to conceal when trying to sell your home. Now, I believe in taking a proactive approach. Sellers can avoid these pitfalls that we discussed today, and that's why it's important for sellers to do their research, work with a reputable real estate agent, and be willing to be flexible and transparent throughout the entire selling process. In many circumstances, especially if you own an older home, it may make sense to hire a good home inspector prior to listing your home to discover any unknown issues. Then what I would say is repair these issues you discover on the inspection report, and this allows you to demonstrate to potential buyers that you have gone above and beyond to get your home in shape, thus making it more desirable than other properties without that pre-home inspection. Now, this isn't always necessary. If your home is new or practically brand new, that doesn't necessarily have to be done, but definitely with older homes it makes a ton of sense, or at least it's something you should think about. So if you're thinking about listing your home, and if you have any questions whatsoever, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is linked in the description below, and until next time, I hope to show you around town. Take care, folks.